Good evening and welcome to meeting number 464 of Turning Point Toastmasters. My name is Rupinder and it is an absolute delight to be your Sergeant at Arms for today. I'll start by reciting the club mission statement. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. You're now inside the code of conduct of a Toastmasters meeting. Please be advised that the meeting is being recorded. May not be possible to pause or stop the recording. I have some meeting rules for you. Audience, please be advised that any behavior that disturbs the flow of a meeting will result in removal from the meeting room without any warning. You will also be reported to Zoom. Please ensure that your noise-making devices are either switched off or on silent mode. In particular, silence your WhatsApp tab. That is the one that makes the most noise in between the meetings. At Turning Point Toastmasters, we are not averse to use talking about religion, sex, or politics, but please do so in a manner that does not offend the people in the audience. As far as possible, keep your videos on, your audio off, and applause flowing throughout. Simple rule: be the kind of audience you want for yourself. You would not want your audience switching off their videos. You would not want the audience conversing amongst themselves. So feel free to turn on your videos and let us see your delightful faces. I'm not going with beautiful because there is me also. The role players, please ensure a smart audio check before you hand over to the respective role players. And please also rename yourself as role player hyphen your name, your club name. You may omit the club name if you're a member of Turning Point Toastmasters. Please acquaint yourself with the role of the timer. The timer will use either a background change or screen sharing to indicate timing using one of three cards. Red means that you've reached the minimum qualifying time. Yellow means it's a good time to start wrapping up, and red means that you've got 30 seconds or more. Then Zoom behaviors. We encourage you to use the Zoom emoticons generously to encourage role players. I understand that you guys are really happy that I won the twin titles. So let's show some appreciation through a round of applause, not hearts, claps. See, this is where listening is important. For example, I'm going to clap for myself. Yep, great. You know the drill now, so keep that applause flowing throughout. We sincerely request you not to send messages to everyone or the speaker on stage. In fact, refrain from chatting altogether. Enjoy the meeting. Reiterating, please stay on mute unless specifically requested to unmute. I would now like to introduce the presiding officer. Now, you know, how did you, what did you think about my introduction as a sergeant at arms? Do you think that it was good enough? So could have been better. What do you think? Well, I like to think that I did a good introduction as a sergeant at arms, and the reason I did that is the person that I'm going to introduce next. He's the author of the Sergeant at Arms script, both for online as well as offline meetings. And this is a script that I've heard played in many clubs, not just in India, also in a club in Dubai that I attended. I instantly recognized it. So, and he's also a panelist today. He's also a district contest finalist. He's also a past division director. And then there are some other titles associated with him. If I start reading them out, it'll be like you're visiting a doctor. You see, you have those lots of letters behind those. So I'm not going to torture myself with that, but it gives me immense amount of pleasure to introduce to you the one and only distinguished Toastmaster Anant Katyayani. Let's have a huge round of applause. Anant, let's do a very quick audio video check. Can you say something?
Rupinder, do I look handsome?
Okay, you look audible and visible. Let's go with that.
Thank you so much. With that disappointing last line, thank you so much, Rupinder, for that fantastic introduction to the meeting. Let's have a round of applause to the OG, Rupinder Singh. I also take the opportunity to welcome some dignitaries over here. I believe we have some area and division directors, some district officers from District 41 and beyond over here, if possible. May I request all of them to just, switch on the cameras as I take the names. I see Division C Director at District 98, the Rajasthan, Abhishek Devraj over here. I see Division H Director at District 41, our own territory, Utkarsh Sharma, one of our proud product from Turning Point itself. I also see guest Gaurav. I don't know if it is Gaurav Chaudhary, the District Director. All right, it's Gaurav Vahi, one of our guests who is joining us for the first time. Welcome, Gaurav.
Thank you.
We have Himani Sahu, I believe the area director at Area I3. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we have a few special guests. One of the District 41 finalists this Sunday, Toastmaster Soumya Tripathi. A few fellow club presidents. Correct me if I miss out anyone. Toastmaster Manish Dambla, Toastmaster Jaspreet Singh, an integral part of the District 41's club growth team, the one who is making wonders happen, Toastmaster Dr. Anju Pradhan. And of course, a fellow president at Faridabad Toastmasters, Kalpana Thakur. See, I'm not getting a list. I'm simply reading out the names, recalling as much as I can. So pardon me if I miss out anyone. We have a few pillars of the community over here. All right, Tosma Kanav is also here, a past area director and a regular guest. We have a few pillars of community. This time I will take a special mention to them. Toastmaster Sorindra Bhumik. And yes, we have a few current and past Toastmasters over here. We all will get opportunities to introduce ourselves in due course. My humble suggestion in panel discussion, when you get to ask a question, why don't you describe yourself in 1 or 2 lines as well, so that this meeting, when it's live telecasted, it's live streamed on YouTube. So that way your introduction will already be there along with your question as well. Otherwise, it will not be possible to have introductions from everyone. Folks, we stand at a beautiful, beautiful juncture today because can't be happier than that. As a presiding officer, Toastmaster Rupinder has made us all proud by winning not just one, but both the contests at District 41 finals. Ladies and gentlemen, today we stand as a club proud enough to call that District 41 champion and ISC entity belongs to. Thank you, Rupinder, for making it my moment to receive award on stage on behalf of you. People were wondering what the hell this guy spoke about, that he is getting award, but well, that's how life is. But jokes apart, I think the community gets its due here, not just me or not just my club. The community here has made it possible. Toastmaster Rupinder, I think the journey where you created a group of close friends who belong to different clubs, who supported you, who provided you feedback, who reviewed your meeting recordings, your speech recordings, and probably the 5-10% extra improvement that you could bring out, taking nothing away from sheer resilience that you showed on stage. And we will discuss that moment as well when power went out. But I think the community is here supposed to be celebrated. So let's have a round of applause for this entire community, the platform, not just Turning Point Toastmasters, but Toastmasters community in general. We have a few panelists over here today who will be discussing our own experience and journey along with you, facing some tough questions that our moderator will throw at us. After that, a quick round of table topics as well I have for you. I will be your table topic master. But ladies and gentlemen, with your permission, I would like to just ask this thing. what do you think, guys? Is it really difficult to become a world champion? Easy, difficult? From a scale of 0 to 10, what would you rate this journey? 10 being the toughest, 0 being the easiest. Anshuman says 0, Manish Demla says 10, anyone in between? Rupinder says 5.
No, I'm just saying it's 7 speeches.
It's 7 speeches, right?
Yeah.
It's 7 speeches. From beginning till end, club to international, it's 7 speeches. It can be same speech, barring the semi-final and final, where it has to be 2 different speeches. I was asked this question at Faridabad Toastmasters. Kalpana is here. Hi, Kalpana. When I took a session around storytelling, and there was a gentleman who joined just a couple of months back, and he simply asked, "Sir, wo sab theek hai. Just tell me this. How can I become the best speaker?" By best, he meant probably the world champion or national champion speaker within a month. And I was like, sorry, I cannot answer this question because I haven't been able to be that myself yet. But it's a journey, it's a process that we have to place the faith in. Give me a raise of hand, give me a thumbs up if you guys believe in. It's the journey that matters, not the destination. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Today, let us explore that journey for different individuals, the same journey. And I think it's not just 4, I think a fellow few people here, like Soumya, like a couple of others, who have been till area, division, even district level at that journey. So feel free to pitch in, guys. It's not a panel discussion for the 4 or 5 of us alone. You can all pitch in through chat, through typing, through text, and at times by raising hand. If moderator allows, then pitch in your opinion as well, right? Because I see a few faces here that participate every year with full intensity, right, Manish? Yeah. A few faces who participated every year. Manish?
I participated for only 2 years in ISC, 1 year in table topics. So yeah, I'm quite new to contests.
So beware, because this year, getting inspired from Rupinder, I will also be a participant. So Priyanka, Rupinder, everyone, let's buckle up. Today begins that journey. This panel discussion, let it mark the moment where we begin planning for the next year ISC, whichever district we belong to. On that note, let's invite the moderator who is a tech guru, who belongs to one of the biggest tech firms on the planet, someone who is always biased to Google Drive and Google Sheets than Microsoft products, and someone who has been the life force behind not just 1 but 3 clubs, not just Turning Point and Gurugram Professional, but also Bright Beginnings. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our moderator, Toastmaster Anshuman Mishra. Anshuman, let's have a quick audio video check.
Thanks a lot, distinguished Toastmaster Anand. I'd love to keep the spotlight on the 4 wonderful panelists that we have, because they deserve it all for the hard work they've done to reach the district stage. And my light just went, so I'm realizing after oration that is definitely a great sign. And I'm sure we'll have a great panel discussion, all due to that ominous sign. There are 2 contests I look forward to in every year. One is definitely the district contest, oration. And the second one is the contest at Turning Point Toastmaster Club. Why so? Because even the 7th participant is a division contestant at Turning Point Toastmaster, more in high probability. And any one of those has a high chance of coming in the top 3. And the Turning Point Toastmaster contests are so intense. Yet at times I contrast the district contest with the Turning Point Toastmaster contest, and that is due to the fact that because of these luminaries in the spotlight who have made it to the district stage from Turning Point Toastmaster, I like to introduce them one by one, starting with Toastmaster Srishti, who as soon as had joined Turning Point Toastmaster, we realized she's a wordsmith. As soon as she came, she had a notion full of folders of her speeches, recordings from her childhood till right now, and she kept on experimenting with different ideas and was full of energy. And eventually, I think in her first year of Toastmaster itself, made it to a district stage. So I'd like to invite you on the stage, Shristi, to just quickly introduce yourself to the entire audience.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anshuman. What can I say more than you've already said? As you mentioned, I have not been part of Toastmasters for very long now, but I did have the chance to participate in the district contest in my first year, and it was a great experience. Outside of Toastmasters, some of the work has been keeping me busy, but I am looking forward to joining right back. And now I'm very inspired by DTM Rupinder's wins. So, yeah, I am back with Toastmasters. And I also promised him that by the end of the year, I will make a few speeches in order to prepare for next year. So, that is a promise that I have to keep. So, thank you so much, Toastmaster Anshuman.
Wonderful. So we're going to have another intense ISC Turning Point Toastmaster contest with Toastmaster Shristi also throwing her hat in the ring. But about throwing hats in the ring, we have Toastmaster Priyanka. Toastmaster Priyanka is known for her acting skills and prowess, including beyond her speeches. And whenever we have Toastmaster Priyanka as part of any forum, any contest, there's sure going to be analysis. You can't even imagine what we were doing after oration. We all were sitting in hotel lobby, led by Toastmaster Priyanka, 8 of us, taking the ballot paper and dissecting everyone. So while everyone was partying, dancing, and having fun in the stage, we 8 of us were just sitting, dissecting. Okay, Toastmaster Soumya, did she move left, right? Was that correct, not correct? This was our part of our hobby. And led by yours truly, Toastmaster Priyanka, who had little by little notes prepared for a next year's oration. And like her mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Anand, she likes to play with the red card a lot. I believe last year oration was 7 minutes 32 seconds, which I think might be a trigger for her. But with that trigger, I'd like to invite you on the stage to share a few words, your introduction, Toastmaster Priyanka.
And Toastmaster Anshuman is like makes if have somebody really happy and then put it down. 7 minutes 32 seconds will hurt me ever. I just need to do something to make it like to forget that. For that, I had to come to district again. So I have fellow contestants, future contestants in the room. Soumya, I really thought that you will definitely win. Somehow Rupinder won. I don't know how. No idea, you know.
I love you, Priyanka.
I love you too. Okay.
You're friends now, the both of you.
Yeah, this okay. Yeah, so talking about analysis, I had fun doing that. It is a good, I would say, being a Toastmaster, being an enthusiast of ISC contestant, as a ISC contests, we always want to see what speakers are bringing to the stage. And this, I think, the route has been, it's coming from Turning Point Toastmasters itself. I think right in the year of 2019, when I started when I became part of Turning Point Toastmasters, from that year till today, that is not dying. And still every year I feel like, okay, I have to compete, I have to become better, because there's something in this club which keeps me going. Every time I feel like today, at this point of time, I'm skeptical that shall I renew in September or not, given I have a lot of things on my plate. But here I am as one of the panelists talking about all these things. When I couldn't manage, that's just right away said that it's very tough to manage along with work and along with other responsibilities. However, I'm not able to give up. This is what I learned so far in all these years with my fellow Toastmasters in Turning Point Toastmaster. So this is what I am carrying forward. Thank you, everyone, for letting me being part of the family and being part of this panel. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Priyanka. And talking about not giving up, we have distinguished Toastmaster Anant, who moved from Hyderabad to Gurgaon only for the luck of Turning Point Toastmasters, because my earliest memory of Turning Point Toastmaster resides with, not resides, but is associated with Distinguished Toastmaster Anand and Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder. And if I have to give a phrase, if a phrase strongly associated with Distinguished Toastmaster Anand is attention to details. I think not just attention details to speeches, to how the club works, how entire community works. He has been the torch bearer of District 41 since time immemorial for me. And his speech about how sex, politics, and religion is part of Sergeant at Arms, besides writing Sergeant at Arms speech, is one of my best speeches I've heard in the community. And that was actually a speech where we had to disturb him. So if any one of you has given that speech where audience has to literally make the speaker's life hell, we ensured we were throwing pens, making noises, and despite that, he ensured that it was one of the most memorable speeches he gave. So, distinguished Toastmaster Anant, the floor is all yours. Please introduce yourself on your core memory about Toastmasters and how do you relate that to Turning Point Toastmasters?
I think I will start with a quote that probably stuck with me, and that was by a Toastmaster herself. I think one of the first ever female Toastmaster. Rupendra, correct me if the name was Helen Blanchard. It was that if you can get all that you can get out of Toastmasters, you will never get out of Toastmasters. And I think that stuck with me because that has been practically my life journey. I have shifted cities, careers. I have shifted districts that you call in Toastmasters, been part of 4 districts. And it was sheerly my good luck that I landed in Turning Point Toastmasters as the first club that I shifted to Gurgaon and visited because it was the nearest. Even though on the weekday it was nearest to me, I was inclined to join a weekend club, to be honest. But that was the day when I took my wife along with me. And my wife approved of this club, of the people. So all credit goes to Neha. Some of you have met her. Some of you have met her at last year oration as well. And I think she has come to appreciate how this particular club, the community around, it has helped me stay sane. Sometimes when I become unbearable at home, she simply asks me, hey, don't you have a Toastmaster meeting to attend somewhere? Well, that's how the life is going on. I don't have any words to preach, rather just will express my gratitude to this community, what it has given me. And I'm on a mission to just give it back. Not that I don't have much to give back, but whatever the community needs and I can, I'm always there. Over to you, Anshuman.
Thanks a lot, Distinguished Toastmaster Anand. And about giving back to the community, like truly, when we talk about someone who needs no introduction, I think that phrase was built for Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder because he doesn't need introduction. First of all, because most probably majority of us already know him, have been influenced by him, have been inspired by him. Not because of who he is, but and not because he's the winner of a district contest, because of his passion for public speaking and Toastmaster itself. And when I joined Turning Point Toastmaster, they were pretty much legends around Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder. For example, I don't know if it's a myth or reality that he gave 50 back-to-back offline speeches in different clubs, even traveling to Rajasthan. I don't know if that number is 50, 25, but that is one of the myths or legends about Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder. But one thing I can confirm is once I think got into a motorcycle accident, and he was so committed and was so intentful about keeping the values alive that he came, gave the sergeant arms uh, like introduction, and then went back. Then he went to the hospital and then got himself admitted, is what I understand. But Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder, thank you for upholding the IRC values to the T and obviously demonstrating it through victories in public speaking. Over to you to share any nugget which you already haven't shared with us about Turning
Okay.
Point or Toastmasters?
Gross exaggeration. I did not give 40, 50 speeches at a go. I did give 50 speeches in order to complete my first TTM. So if there is that, I think that is what you're referring to. The other thing regarding the motorcycle accident, I hurt myself. I came, I did the sergeant at arms. Then I went upstairs, got myself dressed, and then I came back for the meeting. I did not have to go to a hospital, and I hate hospitals. Let's just put it like that. So thank you so much, Anshuman. Thank you, everyone, and let's get rolling. What are your questions? I'm pretty sure
Amazing.
that we are all excited.
Definitely. All right. Before we get into the deep stuff, I'll start with a rapid icebreaker with four of you. Just a simple one-word answer, and I'll call out the name, and you have to just share. Starting with, what is your ultimate pre-match? Here, match is definitely the speech pump-up song. Rupinder.
Um, I was I totally forgot. Sorry, Bella Ciao.
Bella Ciao. Okay, of course, Bella Ciao. Srishti.
Eye of the tiger.
I am that I have the
Eye of the tiger.
Eye of the Tiger. Okay, yes, of course, Eye of the Tiger. Like, I am the tiger. That's a new song. Eye of the Tiger, definitely. I think a lot of gym goers here. Toastmaster Priyanka.
Oh, Jinda had to. It's from Bhag Milka Bhag.
Yes. Distinguished Toastmaster Anant.
It's not a song. It's a background track of Superman movie, the first flight, that just pumps me up.
Beautiful. So your public speaking superpower, flawless vocal variety, or master of the dramatic pause, Anant.
I'm just trying to stay ahead of the red light.
Okay, that's not your superpower though, but yes, Priyanka.
That's my kryptonite.
Vocal variety, pauses.
Pauses.
Yes, Srishti.
I'm still trying to
Pauses
figure mine
definitely.
out.
Pauses clearly. Rupinder.
I just speak from the
Both.
heart, sincerity, I would say. I
Alright.
just try to be myself on the stage.
So, what is your absolute worst, most embarrassing habit when practicing speech at home? Rupinder.
People do bathroom singing, I do bathroom speeches, and folks outside my house are there like, what is wrong with you? Why are you yelling? Why me? In
Why?
the yeah.
Okay, why me in the bathroom? Definitely. Shrishti.
Yeah, I think I do the same thing except when I'm walking, like when I'm taking a walk is when my ideas start coming and I start like try to imagine what it would sound like while I'm saying it. So yeah, I've been that person like walking on the road without any earphones or something. So people know that I'm not on a call, but I'm like talking full sentences with full expressions.
Interesting. Toastmaster Priyanka.
I think similar episode happened when I wrote my first time the father speech, my famous father speech. Yeah, everybody bored of now. So I was in the bus. I did not prepare well. In the evening, the contest was there. In the bus, I'm speaking to myself, and people are thinking, "What? She definitely must be crazy." So yeah, I think we all speakers. Yeah, outside Toastmaster, they definitely will be thinking we are as crazy. Definitely, yeah.
Right. And for audience context, so Toastmaster Priyanka has one father speech and one mother speech. So entire club knows ki, like there should be a father speech or mother speech, and that decides the district rhythm for Toastmaster Priyanka. But anyhow, you got to learn, like you got to attend Turning Point Toastmaster during the contest season to listen to Toastmaster Priyanka's father or mother speech. But anyhow, distinguished Toastmaster Anant.
So I'm a night owl, and I only get to practice in full flow when everyone is asleep. So I close the door and start rehearsing in a not so loud voice. And at times, my wife wonders who is talking to, um, hiding in another room. So that's a tough thing to negotiate. But jokes apart, I think the toughest part for me, or the crazy habit for me while rehearsing is. Um, I used to rehearse in front of a mirror. Nowadays, I don't. I simply visualize myself on that platform. At times, wear that blazer that I'm going to wear in the actual speech, And even if I'm wearing it upon a pair of shorts, I just wear that blazer and visualize myself delivering that speech. So yeah, that works for me.
Beautiful. And last one before we deep dive into the journey to district. So who's your ultimate public speaking idol, living or dead? Starting with you, Anand.
Tough thing, but I think it's one of those Hollywood movies where, okay, it's exaggerated, but I think Sylvester Stallone is my public speaking idol. Apart from many movies like Rocky, etc., there is a new TV series that he featured in, and his monologues, they are spellbinding. I think Tulsa King is the series. He's spellbinding. Whenever he starts into a monologue, people around him just shut up and listen. So that's the quality that I'm trying to cultivate.
Beautiful. Priyanka?
Yeah, sorry, I lost you.
Who's your public speaking idol besides
Yes.
Rupinder?
Yes.
Like living or dead?
There are two living both. Aaron Beverly, the famous Aaron Beverly. The second one is Veer Das. I love him. He's amazing on the stage. Yeah.
Srishti?
Yeah, I think I was going to say that I'm trying to be inspired by as many people as possible. I don't have one particular person that I look up to, but what I do really enjoy is I have been going to a lot of Kanan Gill's stand-up shows, and I really feel that the way he builds up his storytelling, and he's also very different in terms of the kind of humor that he has. A lot of people look at humor as making fun of something outside of themselves. But with Kanan, I've seen that he makes fun of just the absurdity of circumstances. And I think that is something that I aspire to do, to be able to, and it's something that I want to learn to do as well, to use humor more. And I think studying stand up comics is something that, that's going to help me get there, help me understand how storytelling is done. And in particular, I enjoy Kanan Gill's lead up and just the whole storytelling. He's not just telling jokes. So, yeah.
Right. And agree, I think adding humor to the speech is one of the biggest challenges for any contestant. And
Not
being
for
a stand-up,
DTM Rupinder, though.
Rupinder is an exception. But in general, yes. And learning from stand-up comedians can be one of the great methods. Distinct Toastmaster Rupinder, who's your idol?
Not anyone in particular, but I'll tell you this. The speech that Priyanka gave about her dad, I had some difficult moment because my mom was in the hospital and she was doing some really, really impossible things. And every time I felt like, yelling at her or throwing up or crying out, I just remembered her speech. So in many ways, she is that inspiration for me. I look up to Srishti because, man, those facial expressions. I wish I had those facial expressions. If I had 10% of those, I would have been a world champion years ago. So I just look around and I get inspiration. I get inspiration by the thoughtfulness of Manish or the experience of Shaurendra or for that matter, the enthusiasm of Himani, um, or the humor of Soumya. You look around in Toastmasters, you will find enough and more role models. And to me, they are an inspiration, each one of you. So thank you for that.
Beautiful. Thanks a lot. And we'd love to know from you who's your idol. I see some of you already typing in the chat. So Aaron Beverly, Manoj Vasudevan, Veer Das, Kanan Gill, Craig Valentine for Manish, Simarjeet Singh, Rahul Bhatnaik for Pooja. We have Trevor Noah for Divya. So if you have any idols which we should look up to or as like just check out, please do type in the chat. And now we get into the journey to the district. And for that, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me or we'll have the guest section of for you to ask the question. So we'll start with the preparation of the speech itself. So one of the most debated aspects after the contest this time was who left a mark. And who left a mark goes to the message of the speech itself. So one of the biggest differentiating factors which came up was the message uh, strong enough to resonate with the broader audience? So I'd like to know from you all distinguished panelists that how do you decide which message should be core part of your speech and how will it relate to the broader audience? Because if you keep it too narrow, that for example it's one gender based message, so you might end up alienating 75% of the audience, while if you keep it too universal, too massy in double quotes, or you keep it generic, it may not leave an impact which is desired at a stage like the district one. Love to know, when you're drafting your speech, how do you ensure that the message reaches through? Starting with you, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder.
Honestly, I go by gut feel. Um, I kind of get a sense that this speech is going to resonate with people, or whether or not it is going to. So even my first speech that I gave, Why Me, was originally it was a 12 to 13-minute speech that I gave at Great Lakes Institute of Management, and somebody came around and said, "Why don't you try this for contest?" And that's how it started. Uh, I firmly believe that your speech needs to have one message, and it needs to have a very clear message, because I have seen many speeches, including those at the international level, where people try to give more than one messages, and that leaves the audiences confused. I myself have done that. I mean, I have a speech in which I talk about the environment, but it's actually about storytelling. And I have people coming up to me and saying that I'm going to save on electricity from today. And my point is that no, that was not the point. The point was to become a storyteller. So I believe that your speech needs to have one message, everything tied around that message, everything contributing to that message. Uh, for example, if you have three stories, then those three stories need to have enabling messages, which ends up to the terminating message, the one message that you want to give. I believe that a message is the most important part of the speech. And in order to get to the correct message, you need to answer just one question. What do you want the audience to do once they are done listening to your speech? Do you want them to give up smoking? Do you want them to go on a fitness journey? Do you want them to learn more about AI? It can be anything, but it needs to be one message, just one message. What is it that you want the audience to do? And then a follow-up question, how do you want them to feel? Because that defines the tone of your speech. Do you want them to feel inspired, persuaded, uh, entertained, or informed? And it can be a combination of these. So entertain will mean that you will have humor. Informed will mean that you will have facts. Persuasion will mean that you will have persuasive content, focusing more on the pathos part. And inspiration, of course, means that you'll bring in everything: ethos, logos, and pathos. Sorry to get too technical over here, but that's what I feel. To me, the message is the most important part of your speech.
I'd like to double click on that. Why not two messages? Why not three?
Because you have a 5 to 7 minute speech. And in 5 to 7 minute speech, if you try to jam pack 2 or 3 messages, you're going to leave your audience confused. As simple as that.
Definitely. Listening to Osman, you have your hands raised. And I'd also like to know from you what is the process of taking that message and converting the speech that you follow?
Let's understand the very basic thing just to visualize what Rupinder said in a different way. You all must have seen Avengers. There is a character called Hawkeye, and he has a quiver of arrows, different arrows, having different functions. So public speaking is like having a repertoire where you have different arrows, body language, pauses, vocal variety, your dressing, your this, your that, your stage presence, etc. But that bow in hand, that bow is your main message. You cannot have more than one bows because that's a distraction. All you need is one bow with which you launch all these projectiles. Simple as that. Now, what's wrong with having more than one messages? If you want to have more than one flavor, go for a mixed fruit juice. But if you want to have a pineapple flavor or a chocolate milkshake or an orange juice, then you have to have that flavor only. You can have a few add-on side messages inorganically interpreted by audience themselves. For example, the speech may be like Priyanka said about love for a parent. It can be a love for any other near and dear ones like an uncle, a brother, a sister, a wife as well. The essential message is about love. So now Priyanka has delivered it about love for a parent. I delivered a speech on the similar lines, love for my spouse, or rather, how I found love from my spouse, not in words, but in the small deeds that she did for me. Uh, the biggest compliment that I gained from an audience member is this: I saw my life story reflected in your speech. And I think that's the whole purpose of delivering a speech. So we deliver our own story with our own message. Let audience find out the resonance with that in their own life story. Now, the trick to find out a key message like that, I don't go technical at all. I simply go for what made me feel strongly: happiness, sadness, shock, awe, surprise, wonder, fear, whatever great feeling that I faced or I felt intensely. I think that's a good starting point for crafting a speech. If I could feel strongly about something authentically, there is a chance that audience may feel as well. The only trick is then to write, rewrite, and craft a speech that probably has audience awareness at its core. We know who our audience is: age, gender, region, religion, etc. And will it work with them? So that's the process of writing and rewriting the speech. But finding that key message, I go simply by what made me feel intensely. There is a chance that audience will feel intensely about it as well. Plain and simple. Over to you, Anshuman.
Thanks a lot. Toastmaster Srishti.
Yeah, I think I'd like to combine what Toastmaster Anant and Toastmaster Rupinder said. And what I believe, and I think what I've realized is that all humans have a handful of similar themes in their lives. So I know everybody's lives are vastly different from each other, but they all come down to some very basic things that we all need. We need security, we need connection with other people, we want to overcome our challenges. And these are, of course, like you said, they're very mass themes, but I think there's a way to take something that is a fundamental human experience and connect it with something that you feel really strongly about, something that has moved you, or something that you are convinced 100% about. Like, for example, I talked about in my district speech, I talked about which was called Things Worth Doing. And it was also about something that I felt very strongly about. Examples of, how every single thing that we try to do is, say, now connected to consumerism. And somewhere, I think everybody feels that hustle culture taking over some of, like, a lot of their life. And I think that is where I try to connect it as well, that okay, this is something that I am feeling, but I'm not the only person who's feeling it. Maybe I'm feeling it exactly like in this way, I'm the only person who's feeling it, but it's not that other people are living completely different lives. Everybody has the same fears and the same stresses in some way or another. So I think that is a way for us to actually narrow down, but also ensure that you don't lose that connect. So that is how I would say that, okay, if you feel really strongly about something, then try and connect it with the human experience still.
Beautiful. So feeling strongly about a message and ensuring that that message connects with the audience and doesn't become too niche to isolate a group. Tosma Priyanka, how do you go about doing that?
Sorry, did you change your question? I'm still in the previous question. No.
It is related to the message, the inherent message of speech. How do you go about ensuring that the message is one?
Yeah, understood. So I have little different views than other panelists. People say that it should resonate with you. You should feel it when you are on the any kind of contest stage. You're there to win. If you want to just go and deliver a speech and feel good about it, you'll deliver that in one of your club's meetings. But you are there on the stage to win. So there are two things. First, with the way Anand, Ashish and Supinder have been saying, it should resonate with you. For example, my father's speech, the message was simple. Simple caring, taking care of them, or they're into it's their second childhood. In the audience, not everyone had their parents in a similar setting. They're quite young, younger than me. Their parents were not that old. They could not resonate with me. However, that particular feeling, the way I felt for my father, I felt it so intensely that I crafted a speech about it. But it did not hit the audience that much because they were not that in the same phase of their life. So according to me, it should work both ways. The way Pareto principle, if you use 80-20, here 80% of the audience should be able to, according to me, should be able to resonate with you or with your idea, which you have felt intensely, because if you have felt intensely, then only you could be authentic about your emotions while delivering it. So this is how I feel.
Beautiful.
I'll just add to that. I mean, Priyanka, you said that you gave that speech and maybe the audience didn't relate to it. To be honest, when I first heard your speech, I will say I did not relate to it. I related to it only this year or last year when I was takeaway. The point that I'm trying to make is that the speech you give today, you will probably not see the fruits of that speech today. But many years later, somebody will come up to you and say, you gave that speech. I remember that speech. That speech changed my life. And I can tell you personally speaking, because I gave that speech in Chicago. I came second. Obviously, I was disappointed. I was not going to the final. Somebody came up to me and said, I don't care if you win the world championship or not. You are the champion of my world. And to me, that resonated more. And a lot of people have said that to me after that. But for me, the feeling that I did something where somebody decided to do something different, decided to change. That for me is a bigger win than a trophy on my cupboard. If I can walk away from a speech, and here I'm just gonna take 1 minute and I'm gonna tell you, because I've been in your boat. I actually did the stupidity of asking Mohammad Katani. I had qualified for my first ever district event, and Mohammad Katani was doing a session in IIT, and I asked him, what will it take for me to get to the district? His answer, he said, if you give a speech and you die immediately afterwards, what do you want the world to remember? The fact that you died or the speech you gave? Because if you can do that, then no awards matter, honestly speaking. My take, I mean, obviously, some of us we play to win, some of us we speak to change. It's a thing that I go with that.
Wow, that was powerful. If yeah, if I had to die tomorrow, what will I share with the world? I'm not too sure, but definitely I'm sure the district participants have thought deeply about that. We'll alternate between audience question and some of the questions that I have. I open the floor to any audience questions. I see one or two DMs already.
बेटा करता है.
Okay. Please feel free to raise your hand or mute yourself just in case. All right. Yes, Divya.
Hi, my question is to Toastmaster Rupinder. Uh, just want to know the rough idea, like how many times have you delivered your winning speech?
Um, I don't know if it's which winning speech you're referring to, but I'll tell you
Do
about
we know this much counting?
No, I'll give you the numbers because I'll tell you one thing. Remember that Vaimi speech that I was talking about? I said the first one went for 12 to 13 minutes. I first gave it on 3rd of February 2018. I last gave it on 23rd of August 2018, and that's a difference of 205 days. In between those 205 days, I rewrote that speech 196 times. And I remember that because I saw the versions that Google Docs created. Yeah, no need to bring out the, the no need to bring out the celebrations because it was still not enough to get me into the finals. But I mean, just that's why I'm a big fan of that statement. The best speeches are not written; they are rewritten. So if I rewrote that 196 time, I can confidently say that I gave that speech at least 196 times. Must have given it at least 200 times. So I hope that helps.
Can I
Right.
please ask a follow-up question, please?
Yeah, please go.
Okay, make it quick.
Yeah. So for me, I felt like when I delivered my speech for the first time, it was brilliant. When I was delivering the same speech for the second time, I felt like I lost on the emotions. Any particular tips over there which we can use to like fine tune the same content if we are delivering it again?
Um, this is something that I tried during when I was practicing, and that's advice that came from Sharinder sir. He said that every time you are going on stage to speak, imagine that you're speaking in front of 1,000 people, even if there is just one person speaking to you. And once you get into that mindset where you imagine a room full of people, like 1,000 people looking up to you need to live that. Even if I'm speaking in the bathroom, I have to imagine that there are somehow 11 people, 1,000 people in the bathroom looking at me, looking up to me to deliver the best speech possible. That is where the mindset changes. And to the point that you are referring to, that sometimes you kind of lose interest in that, and that happens. That is the time when you must keep on going at it, because it is like the workout that you're doing at the gym. When nothing is working out, that is when your mind is actually calculating how best to make it work. And if you give up at that time, you will give up forever. I hope that helps.
Right. Thanks
I
a lot,
want
Divya.
to, Anshuman, with your permission, I want to share a moment right now that I captured for, and I did not delete that for this particular moment. I want to share this particular recording. Just watch it, guys. You will have fun. I hope you can see the recording.
The daughter of a professor. Obviously, the professor wanted his daughter to represent the college. So he politely asked Red to step aside. Red, who had looked at this contest as an opportunity to lose the name tag loser, politely, beg your pardon?
Rupinder, any comments?
To be honest, I was relieved. I felt like a batsman who got clean bowled of a no ball, to be honest, when that happened. But 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 I want to share a couple of things with you, and both of them relate to the kind of supportive community that Toastmasters is. Right when so everybody was around me, they were like, "We are really sorry this happened. You stay cool and everything." And I was like, "Yeah, I am very cool. I'm actually glad that this happens." I was in that mindset. But then one of the competitors, Toastmaster Akanksha, she's from Bright Beginnings. She had spoken just before me. She comes up to me and she says, get some more energy in your speech. She had a choice not to say that because she was a fellow competitor. But she decided to keep all that aside, come up to me and say that just put in some more energy. And I guess that is some advice that I took. That's number one. Second, when I started speaking, when the light went out, I kept on speaking. Somebody turned on their torch, and then another person turned on their torch. And very soon, the entire room had turned on their torch. And I'm pretty sure that everybody came there trying to support their own particular contestant, and they had no business turning on the torch, but they did, just so that I could get a chance at the at the next level. So that was beautiful, and that's when I kind of realized that whether I win or lose doesn't matter. The support that I have had at that point, that was more important. And by the way, that was not the only disaster that happened today. Just before the speech, just before I started, my belt buckle broke. So now I am sending people, oh, my belt buckle is broken, and everybody, Sharinder sir is saying, I'm coming to give you my belt. I'm like, no, I'm going to wing it. And Anant comes up and he's like, Nada chahiye kya aapko? I'm like, yes, sure. That is the one thing that I need right now. So, but thank you so much. It was like you were really, really supportive. It was not about who's going to win. It's about this guy's in trouble and we need to help him. And the whole community turned up. Thank you.
Anshuman, you're on mute.
Sharon, sir, I believe you have something to add to this story, and Vivek will come to you after the second question, if that's okay. Yes, Sharon, sir. Sharon, sir, you have a question or you want to add to this narrative?
No, I just wanted to say, when the last time we were practicing for the previous time when he got the district award, we were roommates and we were practicing. Rupinder was practicing late at night when the power went and Rupinder stopped. And I remember telling Rupinder, it doesn't matter if the light goes off. Please continue your speech because you never know at that point whether the light, as far as you are concerned, may have gone, but other people are still watching you. And I don't know whether this was a blessing in disguise, because the moment I saw in the WhatsApp that the power had gone up, I had told myself, today is Rupinder's day. I don't know what. It was just that moment. I saw it and I said, today it's his day. So I just wanted to share that information. Sorry if I have interrupted.
No, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And I think that's the beauty of the Toastmasters community, right? Competition might be a narrow construct where we are looking at. And I can attest to the fact that as soon as District Toastmaster Rupinder won, he was not like, okay, I've won, celebrate me. He was like, what can I give back to the community? So the first thing he told all of us is, let's organize this panel discussion so that all of us can learn how the path to becoming better public speakers, which is the intent. The competition of defeating each other, bringing each other down, calling out names, it's not part of Toastmaster culture. Learning about the journey, inspiring each other, being the best version of oneself, that is what Toastmasters is all about. So doing that is why we are here for. And one of the aspects of any great speech, like food, where spices make it more flavorful. So there are elements of a speech which make it flavorful. And we'll talk about one element each with each of the panelists. So starting with you, distinguished Toastmaster Anand, silence. How can one introduce silence to their speeches? How can they time it? How can one go through that uneasy feeling of standing on the stage for 2 seconds, silently looking at the audience and feeling, oh my God, is this enough to lead an impact? How do you think about silence in your speeches?
I think there are three great places to introduce silence, and it is actually the best element possible. You can call it a pause, but I would rather not take it as a pause, but as a profound silence for audience to just allow audience to think at their own. They say that words are silver and silence is gold, and 100% true. The first place to have silence, just to create some intrigue, is right there in the beginning. So often we straight away start speaking. How about the topic is introduced and you just stand there for good 5 seconds. Have that margin in your speech. That 5 seconds before you begin, that actually allows the audience to just drop whatever they are doing, their mobiles and all, and pay attention because they haven't heard a word from you in 5 seconds. Similarly, at the end, when you give it back with a couple of seconds of pause, like how Rupinder did, how many of the prepared speakers did in ISC as well. That's a great thing, and very often as well. What's very rare, and that's something title clinching, is silence dead in the middle of a speech. And it has to come with some contrast. You build a tempo of a speech, you build with a rhythm, and you lead them on a high, and then suddenly drop something as a bombshell on the audience, a fact, a twist, a turn, and then leave them gasping for breaths. And then you pick up the pieces and then begin your speech again. That silence is memorable. Memorable. It doesn't have to be a life and death kind of situation, but in the context of the speech, it can be something major. And boys and girls, that silence, we just love to recreate that silence as speakers. The day we hit it out of the park. That's my take on it, Anshuman.
Beautiful. Definitely, I think silence or pauses can be uneasy to share, but those are the most impactful. That's one of the most impactful element for any of the speakers. Toastmaster Priyanka, humor. How do you add humor to your speeches? How do you time it? What are the elements of humor that you bring to a story? And how do you decide what humor to put?
First of all, the first thumb rule of humor in Toastmaster would be it should not make anybody uncomfortable in the room. The humor mostly we find humor where in stand-up comedies where they do not have any boundaries. They use any kind of humor without any sergeant at arms rule. Yeah. So, however, bringing humor is the toughest job according to me. I struggle a lot to find humor in my speech. Like it takes a lot of time, a lot of iteration, a lot of suggestion to bring humor. The most humorous speech I have seen was, I would say, Somya's speech in district stage. The moment she'll be like, okay, I was bursting in laugh. I was laughing so much. I think Somya has yeah, her video is off, yeah. But bringing that kind of humor, like Aaron Beverly, it's really tough. So yeah, he's right. It's effortless. So I would say, and again, the speeches which I deliver, too much serious, too much having too much of emotions. It's quite heavy. However, if I add with those kind of emotions plus humor, maybe I could win the world championships itself. So humor is a very important element according to me as well. Yeah. Thank you.
And that's pretty much my segue to involve the audience also, because we have so much wisdom in the audience too. And since you already called out, so Tosma Soumya, if you're there, we'd love to know how did you introduce those elements of humor in your speech, which made everyone go gaga on the intro and the outro. Toastmaster Soumya, just checking, are you there?
She might be preparing for next year's speech.
Might be traveling, so we may move to the next question.
Fair enough. So Toastmaster Srishti, how do you plan for the stage movement? When to go right, when to go left, when to go front, when to go back, when to stay in the middle? Do you write it down, plan it? Is it instinctive?
Yeah, I think movement on the stage was the most difficult thing for me because we're part of an online club. And the way the movement happens on a stage versus the way it happens on the screen is very different. So if we want to look at the example of a great movement on the screen, I think it's the 2020 World Championship winner. I think it's about it's about
Mike
two
Carr.
teach
Mike
Mike
Carr.
Carr
Mike Carr.
with
Blue.
the
Blue.
teachers.
Blue. Speech title Blue.
No. Okay, then maybe it's 2021. Uh, I'm not. It's Mrs. something and Mrs. something, and he uses the what do you say, the limitations of online technology to move his speech forward. So, for example, he actually mimics how voice sounds when there is a delay in a video call, like an internet problem in a video call. So instead of saying, he actually like creates I gotta be really fast. So that kind of like movement, moving it around and all of that stuff, which is something that I was becoming familiar with because of working like attending meetings on Toastmasters meetings on Zoom. I think that was a very different movement. But when I was preparing for district, it was going to be my first time on stage in a physical place. So I really looked at like there's a lot of literature available in terms of theater and how people do it and how movement is actually perceived. So how, when as a performer you are moving from your right gradually to your left, for the audience you are actually moving from their left to right, and it can show a more visual way of like a timeline. So if you're trying to tell a chronological sequence, you start from your right, audience left, and then slowly move to the middle and then to the corner. Similarly, when you are right at the front of the stage and you're maybe like making yourself look a little bit smaller and it feels a bit more intimate. So the places where I'm talking about, okay, I got this advice, somebody told me this, this is what I was thinking. I try to be closer to the front of the stage because it feels like you're talking one on one to the audience. And then you move back to move to the back of the stage where you also have like a bigger body language, and it appears as if you're like addressing a larger crowd, or like a so if you're like talking about like a general theme or you're giving a general message. So when you're like moving from your independent story to the general message that you want to give, that's where you like go back to the back of the stage. And I think that is something that I learned in preparation for my speech. Of course, I don't think that it's something that's like very natural or something that comes from the gut. I think that these things only become natural once you do them 100 or more times, and then you start sort of doing it out of your own natural instinct. But I don't think I have that instinct yet. So
Definitely, I think a lot of things come with practice, Toastmasters history, and thank you for sharing your insight. And since we have you, Toastmasters Soumya, and if you'd like to share, your name was quite popular in the last section on humor. Of how did you add humor in your speech this time, which made the district audience go gaga? What was your thought process? Did you take help of your mentor? Was it your inspiration?
Anshuman, humor has been my forte. Not a forte really, but when I joined Toastmaster, my intention was to I'm a behavioral trainer, soft skill trainer, and I felt that my trainings were very boring. So the intention of joining Toastmaster was making my message more impactful. And when I saw the pathways, one of the pathways was engaging humor. I thought that this could be an interesting thing. The habit of picking the toughest challenge. So this is where I lack, and let me pick it up. Till then, I didn't even know that I have the thing for humor. But once I started delivering speeches, I realized that if we look for something, we find it. If we have that lens of looking at things, and the best way to incorporate humor is to play jokes on yourself, the self-deprecating humor. So and also it's a very tricky thing because audience love it, but most difficult to incorporate in your trainings, in your speeches, because it can backfire. So that's I would say, a muscle that I have developed gradually.
And just double clicking on that. So when you write those jokes, when you time them, do you like experiment with your club audience, or is it intuition that okay, this one will click, this one may not? What is your process of writing those jokes?
So the jokes come very naturally. I think growing up, I've been mocked a lot by my brother for everything, for my looks, for my marks in the report card. So I start looking from his lens that, how would he have a take on it, or how would anyone have it? I don't take myself very seriously, so that also helps. So yeah, and there are a lot of things you pick up from other, I would say, that inspiration. Like this time I realized that the okay thing went really popular. A lot of people after the speech came and said okay to me. But that is something, I don't know, consciously or subconsciously came from the speech last year's winner. What's his name?
Sanskrit.
Sabyasachi.
Okay,
Ha.
Sabyasachi.
Yeah, Sabyasachi Sen Gupta. So when he said just nod, so my speech had this thing. Okay, I thought that I can put some action or body language to it that makes it more memorable, and it worked. Do I practice it at the club level? No, I'm a very last minute person, and that's my limitation as well. So I don't really get to write a speech. My speech, this one was the one that I delivered for the club contest. I hope to get better at it.
Beautiful. That was quite humble of you, and thank you for sharing your journey to writing. I hope the ones listening are able to benefit from that insight. But thanks a lot. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Coming back to the panelists, last but not the least, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder, body language. As Toastmaster Soumya mentioned, okay, might be something we might learn from other world champions or craft it ourselves. So, how do you go about planning when to raise your hands, when to shout it out? Do you let your body go with the flow? Do you write it in your speeches that here I'll raise my hand, here I'll move left, here I'll move right? How do you go about planning for body language?
First, I go with my limitations. What I can do, what I cannot do. Um, I've got some advice, people telling me that maybe you should, uh, do a 180-degree split on stage, or maybe you should dance on stage. So when I sang the Bella Ciao song in my speech, they actually wanted me to dance on stage, and I was like, I'm going to look very stupid dancing. So I have that limited scope of body language. I try to act within that limited scope. I try to score as much as possible in that limited scope. I try to get the basics right. For example, if I can't be as expressive as, let's say, a Srishti or a Soumya, I can at least make eye contact. And if I cannot have different moods, well, I can always consciously smile while I'm looking at people. And that's something that I've seen improve a lot in myself. Whereas I have seen a lot of evaluators when they didn't have anything else to evaluate, yourself included, you just fell back to, oh, you were not smiling on the stage. So I've consciously tried to work on that. When it comes to body language, do I write down in my speech that here I'm going to do this? No. I do that when I'm practicing. That at this point, my hands are going to be like this. At this point, my hands are going to be like this. At this point, I'll be looking this side. At this point, I'll be looking this side. One thing that I also want to call out is with respect to stage movements, like what Srishti was talking about. My maxim is that stories, they happen at the back of the stage because people relate to stories more. So even if you're far away from them, they will relate to stories. When you're going to deliver the message, come right to the front of the stage, reduce the distance between you or yourself and the audience. Also, at that point, make sure that you keep your volume as audible as possible to the last bench, but not loud enough. Because you really want the audience to strain forward and listen to you, because that is the moment when you have most of their attention. So, stories at the back, message in the front. I usually divide my stage into 9 squares. I start at square number 5, which is the middlemost. The first story happens at square number 7, which is at the back. Second story at 8. Third story at 9. I use 4, 5, and 6 for basically enacting my stories. When I want to give the message, I come right up to squares 1, 2, and 3. That is where I deliver the message. That is what I try to do.
Beautiful. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for those insights, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder. Audience time. Starting with Toastmaster Vivek, I know you have been waiting to ask you a question. Over to you to share one question you want to ask any one of the audience member or panelists about the district journey.
Hello everyone. My question regarding the listening skill, because I believe that listening skill is also more important while speaking. How did you train your ear to understand different accent? Any specific method you follow?
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivek. So, how did any one of you train to understand or maybe enact different accents? So, his question is around accents, and maybe I can add to it. How did you neutralize your, say, Indian accent or Desi accent, as they say, while speaking? So, the theme broadly can be accents. So, any one of
I,
you to the panelists.
May I
I
suggest two people to answer this? One is Rupinder because he has spent some time in Canada, and another one is Srishti.
Srishti, you go first.
Uh, I don't think I paid attention to it at all. Like, if I understand the question correctly, like accents and all, or is it to like improve your
So, his
No,
pronunciation and
Toastmaster
listening,
Vivek,
listening.
yeah, one is listening, and adding to that is
Yeah,
even
listening.
and just adding to that, just to add value for the audiences, I was speaking also. That did you have an accent since the beginning? Did you neutralize it? How do you listen and how do you speak? Both the elements.
yeah, I think one thing is that okay, I actually really don't know how to answer this question. Uh, I don't think that I have paid attention to accents or something like that consciously. Like not my own accent, but like when I'm listening to other people's speeches, I think I'm always looking for resonance about trying to understand first and foremost if I am affected by any of the speeches that I am trying to listen to. And only if I feel that, oh, I really thought that for those 5 7 moments I had completely forgotten that I am sitting where I am sitting and just was completely immersed. That's when I go back and like listen a lot of things, and then I try to break it down that what was that moment of like mesmerization, what is it. So I think that is the kind of listening that I have been doing, and I hope this is what you wanted to know. And in terms of like my own like building an accent, pronunciations and all, I think this is something that I have worked with and struggled with a lot. I moved from a Hindi medium school to another country, and then I learned English there. So I had an actual accent. And then I moved back to India and I went to a government college where I was constantly made fun of my accent. And then I had to uh, learn to speak in a way that reflected, or like that did not made me stand out from my classmates. And I think it's just been like, okay, how do I create a bridge between how I generally speak and how I can still be clear while also still being myself. So I
Hmm.
think that is uh yeah, I think that is
So you learned and unlearned.
I learned and I unlearned, and
Nice.
I think yeah, I think it's constantly changing. Um, I feel that when you watch, when you immerse yourself in like a Bridgerton or something for like, say you watch all seasons together, suddenly the voice in your head will also be using different words and different cadence. And then you watch some other completely different series, and then that happens again. So I think
I still need subtitles for Harry Potter series. What about you, Rupinder? You're on mute.
I broadly agree with Srishti. I've never placed too much emphasis on accent, even after staying in Canada for 2.5 years. Uh, and also I don't do very well with vocal variety as such, so I just try to focus on the basics. I know I can't bring tone into play because I don't have that kind of a tone. But what I can do is I can focus on your emphasis, putting more emphasis on one word than the other. I can control the pace at which I speak. I can control the volume at which I speak, and I can effectively use pauses. So 4 out of 5, I can use. The one where I have a challenge is the pitch. I try not to use that. Another thing that I try to do is I use characters. So I have a character which is like when I'm angry. So I try to slip into that character. When I'm happy, use that character, slip into that character. When I'm sad, move into that character. So it's not just vocal variety, it's also body language, how that character is going to present itself. For example, assertive, chest will be out and my stomach will be in, and God knows how difficult that position is for me. But, uh, you know, I have divided each of these into characters, something like Kapil Sharma does. For example, he has an assertive character who's an inspector. He has a timid character who is a shopkeeper. So he kind of slips into those characters, and that's something that I've tried to do. I don't know if that helps.
Thanks a lot, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder and Toastmaster Srishti. All right, I think we are way over time. We had planned for 1 hour session. This might go for like 4 to 5 hours because I think there are plenty of questions we have. Maybe we can do a sequel or sequels to this down the line.
We
But
still
for
have
now,
Sunday.
right, GPT Sunday it is.
Hmm.
And Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder has shared the details of that. It's on 31st May, this Sunday, 11:30 a.m., Hauser Co-Living, Sector 45, Gurgaon. Please do join in person because you'll get to meet Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder in person, answering all your questions. And you can join over every Sunday if you want in GPT and online in Turning Point Toastmasters between 7 to 9 p.m. on Thursdays.
Do
We'll
join our guest group.
Yes, of course. Our pretty popular guest group, which I think all of us have maintained for more than a decade now. Please do join that for any updates. And last question or comment we'll take from Distinguished Toastmaster Surendra. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anshuman. I just wanted to give you one input which I noticed in the last division meeting where Shrishti was preparing for her speech. And the question that you asked, your second question is in your preparation to, so which is the song that you remember? I remembered something which Shrishti did before she went on stage. One speaker before her was already on the stage. Shrishti got up, and between the chairs, she took 5 push-ups. And then I was looking at her because I'd never seen this happen ever in Toastmasters. But then I realized that is where she actually was able to control her emotions and whatever pent up, what should I say, pent up nervousness, that was removed. I don't know. I just wanted to check with Srishti. Am I right in that interpretation?
Yeah, I think I am a very nervous and anxious person. I get very nervous, and I still manage to have that anxiety. And even before I was introduced, and I think they said, "Can we do a quick audio video check?" And I said, "Hi, am I audible and visible?" Because it was my because I came from an online club, right? Turning Point is an online club. And I was so nervous that I didn't think to see that obviously I am visible, right? So I was still quite nervous, but I think maybe it worked out in my favor because somewhere that ice was broken. People started laughing, and when people start laughing, it just becomes that. But yeah, like um I had heard of this other thing, like you should do this, like stand in Superman pose and you'll feel like all high energy. But when you're so nervous, you're already high energy, so you want to dissipate that and just bring yourself to a lower energy. so that you're not vibrating on the stage. So I think that is something that that is, so if this is not working, if you're already very nervous, then yeah, do something that will bring you in contact with your body. I think that is something that I'm
Good,
uh
good. I love that.
yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Anshuman, before you wrap up, may I recommend you collect one line of go-to mantra from all the four? And
That was
audience
my
as well in
next
the chat.
question, District Osmanand. I have learned from the best.
With
And why
audience
can,
as well in the chat.
yeah, how can I miss that? We'll start with you, District Toastmaster Anand. So, any last thoughts, mantra about the district journey, which you'd like to leave us with? Your one message for all of us.
Always go for the immediate next speech. Forget about the rest, the district, the international. Just go for the next speech. Know your audience, know what ticks for that, and modify your speech accordingly. That's it.
Beautiful. Toastmaster Priyanka.
I'm actually speechless because go-to mantra is like every year why I go to contests. Why? It's a big question. I'm still figuring out the answer. I don't have any mantra. Every year, say the year I went to the district last year, I disqualified on time. I concluded, no, this is not for me. I'm not going back again. I still remember Nimesh Joseph was the chief judge. I had great discussion with him. So still, he could never forget me though. Yeah. So still, after that day, I decided, no, I'm not coming back. But did you see? I'm again this year. I'm here. This year, I lost a division. I would I be there next year? Probably yes. I'm still thinking maybe shall I not renew in September? No, maybe I should, maybe I not. But contest season, the fever, it's a fever. People don't see just like that, the fever. And that fever has got me. I don't have any mantra. I think I'm still in the fever. I don't know what I'll be rescued from this fever. I need a good doctor for that. Thanks.
The spirit of participation, learning during the journey, contributing to the community, those are the byproducts of participating besides winning. So thank you, Toastmaster Priyanka, for keeping that spirit alive, despite maybe having second thoughts about it every year. Toastmaster Srishti.
I think it's one thing that I learned that I would love to share with everyone. You might already know it. And the realization I had was when I was giving the district speech, and in that moment, in the middle of it, I forgot my line and I fumbled and I blanked out for like 2-3 seconds. And in that same exact moment, and I had a very strong, I think, very high energetic opening. And in that moment when I fumbled, until then everyone was looking at me, and the moment I fumbled, I saw everybody, that trance or that connect was broken. Everybody started looking away, some people leaned back on their chair, some people pulled out their phone, and it all happened in the same moment, and I saw it happen. And I think that was the realization, that moment I had a realization that, even when people have like literally paid to come and watch you give your speech, I think you cannot take attention for granted. Attention is something that you have to earn. And I think you have to do your due diligence. You have to put in the effort. You have to put in the work. And like you have to give the audience an experience that they enjoy at the end of it. Like if you're up on the stage, attention is a gift. It is, you're not entitled to it. And I think that's something that I will continue to strive to make happen in the future. And this is not just for Toastmasters. I think it's even in every circumstance. You're speaking, you're talking in a meeting, something like that. You're just not entitled to attention. So that's my mantra now.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Srishti. And to conclude this wonderful panel discussion, our District 41 Oration Table Topics Champion and International Speech Contest Champion, Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder, for your final word. What is one message you want to leave us all with about the contest itself?
I think it would be unfair to call it a contest. So think of it as a speech, as an opportunity, because not every day do you get to speak in front of 200 to 500 people. And look at it as an opportunity where, when you speak in club, maybe you influence one person, you'll influence two people. Area level, maybe three or four. Division, 7 or 8. And that number keeps on increasing. And you don't get that chance every day. When you get that chance, don't think about the award. Don't think about the prize. Think about the message you're going to deliver. Focus on that message. Because, for example, let's say that if you're going to give a speech about going to the gym, at the end of your speech, somebody should be inspired enough to just buy a pair of running shoes the next day. That's it. If you can get people to do that, then whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. Most of the times you will win. But if you go with a specific intent that I have to win this contest and I will win this at any cost, it is not going to help. Uh, I and added to that, one of the experiences that I had, and this was at the international level. This was in Chicago. I had people coming up and asking about what is going to be the timing of the speech, and I'm like, club, area, division, district. You cleared all that, and you still don't know that it is 5 to 7 minutes. But then I realized that it was not that they didn't know. It was just that they were so consumed with winning. For them, it was the ultimate thing that, yes, I have to win. And that person did win, did go to the finals, and then badly on stage. But if you go with the intent that I have a story to tell, and people will benefit if I tell that story, and if you go and tell that story with all your heart, chances are you will win. Even if you don't win, you come back, you tell yourself that I left nothing on stage. I gave it my all. So that's what I would say.
Thanks a lot, distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder. Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Srishti, Toastmaster Priyanka, and distinguished Toastmaster Anand for that wonderful wisdom. I hope all of you have joined, had some nuggets to take away from this wonderful discussion. Please do keep on joining Turning Point Toastmaster meetings at 7 p.m. on every Thursday, and Gurgaon Professional Toastmasters meetings on 11:30 a.m. Sunday in person in Hauser Co-Living Sector 45, Gurgaon, for such wonderful nuggets and to participate and push boundaries yourself like the panelists did. I look forward to seeing their speeches in the future, contributing to the Toastmasters community so that all of us can learn. And I look forward to hearing all your speeches inspired by this wisdom, taking it forward in the future. It was wonderful being your moderator today evening. I'd like to hand over the stage to Distinguished Toastmaster Anand to conclude the club meeting. Over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Anand.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think our moderator deserves the loudest round of applause for his charming style, his unique way of handling a session, and of course, posing some not so tough, rather thoughtful questions in an engaging manner. Thanks to all the participants as well who kept interacting with their own takes on the different topics, as well as sometimes steer the discussion in a better direction. We are overboard the time. However, I'm open to have two table topics. Give me a raise of hand if you would like to participate in two table topics.
I'm done with table topics now.
Yeah, you are.
मैं ऊपर उठ चुका हूँ अब इन चीजों से.
Yes. So, anyone who would like to take part in a table topic, I have two topics. Okay, not a district level topic.
I nominate Shauridra Bhaumik or Manish Dembla, whosoever wants to step up.
Yeah, I also nominate Manish.
Manish,
By
we like
popular
most
demand, Manish
Because
then
of
Shaurendra.
Rupees and Srishti's demand for whom I was here, I would agree to doing it.
All
Only
right,
because
I will show you how the timer screen will work. With your first verbal, non-verbal gesture or word, a timer like this will start. You can see it on the top right corner as well. This will go up to 2 minutes, and after that, we'll start in reverse with a slight audible sound without any cards displayed anywhere in between. So you can continue monitoring your time, and 2 minutes plus 30 seconds in reverse, that's your window to speak in. All right. Manish, if you are all, we did the audio video check. You sound, you appear all set. Ready for the topic?
just give me a moment.
Sure.
Yes, ready.
All right. So here is the topic for our first speaker today, Manish Dembla. If you have all the money in the world, what would you trade it for? If you have all the money in the world, what would you trade it for, Manish Dembla?
Wow. Just imagine that you have all the money in the world. And Anand just gave me that option. And if I had all the money in the world, why would I want to trade it for anything else? Right? Now, imagine you grow up, you go to school, you go to college, you work so hard just to earn that money. Now, I would not trade that money for anything else. I would invest it. I would invest it and I would want it to grow. Because money is like, why would I trade it for anything? Yes, I would want to have a less stressful life, and I would like to, not work and just maybe go around the world with my near and dear ones, and just enjoy my life. And see, for right now, I'm waiting for my food. I've ordered from Zomato because of the weather; it's not coming. Uh, if I had more money, I could have probably asked someone to just go downstairs, get me something, but I'm not that rich. I don't have a personal bellboy who could do that for me. So and I'm really struggling right now to speak because of the hunger. And I agreed to speak only because I was asked to. So after completing this worst table topic of my life, and after having spent more than the required time, I think I should stop and save you these 47 seconds that I can speak for, and I also save my energy because I'm extremely hungry. But yes, I would not trade the money for anything. I would invest it and I would spend it on things that I love. Thank you, Anand.
Manish, you are clearly very hungry. So much so that all the money in the world could not entice you to think of a better usage. Good job. May you get your Zomato order very soon. I hope it's not raining outside over there.
It is, it is.
All right. I have a good news and exciting news for all of us. Other than the turning point, which is open to add new members 1st of June onwards, interested people reach out to me ASAP. Uh, those who are there in the guest group, they can reach out to me. We are also building a whole new group at Gurugram Professional Toastmasters only and only in the in-person mode at Gurugram at a particular location near MG Road. Those who are in for a weekend club with an in-person experience, reach out to again me or Rupinder, and we will add you to that particular space. But in addition, there is a third space we are building. And that is something that spawned as a discussion where Manish was, I think, also in the room. It was with a new area director, and he discussed this idea in front of the legendary Deepak Menon sir. And the idea was that why don't we have a place for people to speak in English? Not just in pure Hindi or not just in pure English, but the popular language of every day, because there are so many housewives, journalists, social sector people, students, people from vernacular medium for whom English is not a priority at all, but they also want to build confidence and personal growth. So here is a new chapter that we are building in Gurugram for Haryana and Gurugram territory. It's going to be a bilingual club, Hindi/English or English, whatever language you guys are comfortable speaking in. And in that context, the last and next and the last topic for today's evening, I will be having in English. Anyone who would like to try out the way we speak in general? कोई है जो नॉर्मल भाषा में हम जैसे स्पीक करते हैं, बात करते हैं, उस स्टाइल में बात करने के
Sharendra
लिए
sir ready
इंटरेस्टेड
है?
है?
Sharendra sir ready है?
Shaurendra sir, are you ready to speak in both Hindi and English mix?
I'll try it, sir.
Tell it to me in English.
कोशिश जरूर करूंगा, देखिए क्या होता है.
Fantastic, sir. Spotlighting you.
Thank you.
The timings have already been explained, the way they will be shown. You can see them on the screen, right? Okay. So, Shaurendra Bhaumik, आपके लिए टॉपिक है, दुनिया में आए हैं तो क्या लेके जाएंगे? दुनिया में आए हैं तो क्या लेके जाएंगे? शौरेंद्र भौमिक.
भाई साहब, आए तो हैं, पर जाने की जो बात कर रहे हो ना आप, आए थे नंगे, जाएंगे कपड़ा ओढ़ के, और तो कुछ होगा नहीं. और जब फाइनल हमको जाना ही होगा, तो तब पता नहीं किस तरह से हमें विदाई देंगे लोग. तो ये जो चीज है, हम लोग सब सोचते हैं कि हम बहुत कुछ अपने पास रखेंगे, हम घर रहेंगे, हमको इतना पैसा चाहिए और ये चाहिए वो चाहिए. मेरे को तो मेरे पापा बोलते थे, ठेंगा लेके आए थे, ठेंगा लेके जाओगे. एंड आई डोंट थिंक इसके अलावा हमारे पास कुछ और है. वी मस्ट बी हैप्पी विथ व्हाट वी हैव गॉट. Aspiring, desiring are all fine, but we must also understand कि एक कोई ऐसा है जो हमारी जिंदगी को कंट्रोल करते हैं, और उनके लिए हमारा जो है, जो हमने सेव किया है या जो हमारे पास है, वो उनके लिए कोई फायदा नहीं है. तो दोस्तों, you and I must aspire to have a good life. Give people around you happiness. Provide for your family, but desiring more than what you have got, to me, उसका कोई महत्व नहीं है. क्योंकि मैं फिर वही दोहरा रहा हूं, आए थे नंगे, जाएंगे नंगे, हो सकता है कपड़ा हमारे ऊपर हो. धन्यवाद आपकी.
आए थे नंगे, जाएंगे नंगे, हर हर गंगे. Very excellently spoken by Toastmaster Shaurendra Bhaumik. On that note, I launch a poll to gauge the effectiveness of today's meeting on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being best, 1 being forgettable. Please participate in this poll so that we know ये special meeting आज हमारा कैसा रहा. There are many people who are regular to our meetings, but there are many people who are first timers over here. So other than marking this poll, anyone who is appearing here today for the first time, बहुत ही brief में would like to share how was your experience today?
Shivansh, Manish,
शिवांश, कविता, दीपा,
Dr. Anju, वो कहती
yes
मैं चुप
please.
रहूंगी आज. Navdit, Himani.
I think नवदीप से start करते हैं.
Hello everyone, this is
Hi
Kavita.
Kavita. Hi Kavita, let's go with you.
Yeah, hi. I just attended this meeting couple of times, but today I was trying to attend due to office. I just reached late, but definitely I look at the YouTube recording.
Sure, certainly.
Even my
And
club is a bilingual club wherein we
oh
used to
wow,
talk in Tamil and English. So I'm happy
fantastic.
to hear that you are also trying to create a forum for the people, those who are trying to develop the English along with the Hindi. That's really great
Yes.
news. Wish
Thank
you
you so
good
much for
luck.
the appreciation. Thank you, ma'am. Um, for benefit of everyone, I have posted a couple of times, and I think as the last entry in the chat as well, the meeting link is already there in the chat. The meeting which is being live streamed, the link is there in the chat. On the same channel, you can see our past few meetings as well. High quality, high intensity meetings. You can see how Toastmasters format works in general if you are attending for the first time. And if you are having any questions, you can raise via the guest group to us. You might not be able to post it over there, but you will see me as one of the admins or Rupinder. You can drop a direct message to us. Navdeep, how was your experience? Quickly.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you, everyone. And this has been really insightful for me joining for the first time here on Zoom. So I'm fairly new to the Toastmasters, and Rupinder sir has shared the invite with me, and I'm really glad that I joined today and I got to learn from all the panelists and the distinguished Toastmasters we have in the meeting today. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Navdeep, keep coming, keep speaking, not just here, but also in NAB Toastmasters, which is one of the most phenomenal corporate club right here in Gurugram. You guys are amazing. Keep coming and keep speaking.
Thank you.
Let's chat with Deepa and Shivansh. How was your experience, guys? Anyone who is available quickly?
Hi.
Hi,
Uh,
Shivansh.
okay, Deepa, you can go first if you want.
No, Shivansh, you can go ahead.
Guys, we are still in Gurugram, not in Lucknow. So let's go with Shivansh first.
Okay,
And
okay.
Deepa.
I just wanted to mention that I really, really enjoyed the session, and I had a bit of a network connection problem in the middle, but I did join the live stream on YouTube. Um, yeah, I recently started taking this public speaking side a little bit more seriously, and trying to participate more and learn more from all the great speakers present here. And yeah, just really enjoy the session through and through.
Thank you, Shivansh. I also posted or displayed the result for the poll. So thank you for the overwhelming response, validating the effort that Anshuman, Rupinder, and team have put up in the experience that we have created today. Deepa, going ahead with you, and finally with Manish, as how was your experience? So Deepa, go ahead.
So, hi everyone. It was really insightful session which I've attended today, especially many impactful nuggets from Rupinder sir and Anand sir. So, what I really liked about the building of characters, which Rupinder had said, that you need to build different characters for different emotions and many other things which I have learned. So, thanks for inviting us.
And in case Deepa or anyone else is looking for an in-depth session about how to write a speech for a good 1 hour long session in person, reach out to us. Rupinder is having that at Gurugram Professional Toastmasters this Saturday. This Sunday, 11 a.m. onwards at Hauser.
11:30.
Yeah, 11 a.m. onwards, we will start assembling. 11:30 is the start time.
Yeah.
At Hauser in Gurugram. Location will ping you. I'll go with Manish, but I also see Ekta and Himani as the esteemed area director joining us for the first time. So, guys, stay tuned. I will come to you. Manish, how was your experience?
Thanks, Anand. It was not a normal regular meeting. It was different. So maybe I'll join a regular meeting again. But as far as the panel discussion was concerned, there was a lot to take back. One of the main takeaways for me was when Rupinder said that he gets into different characters. So he's a different character when he's happy, he's a different character when he's sad. I think that is something which I've not thought of before. And I think I'll definitely try that because emotions don't come very naturally to me, being a lawyer. And there were certain very insightful things which the other people also said. Srishti talked about literature on performances. I would like to maybe connect with her and see which literature, and Srishti, I can also get back to my reading habit again. So there are some very novel things which I learned from the session, and on that English thing, I didn't know that you're starting that, so I would like to attend that as well. So it was informative in that sense. And yeah, you're doing a great job. Keep doing that. And I hope to attend one of your regular meetings soon.
Thank you,
I thought
Manish. We also got
you guys decided on the English club while you were drunk. Also,
Yes.
So after Manish's feedback, we got some good encouraging feedback from our area director I3 Himani Sahu as well in the chat. And due to another call, she'll be taking a leave. So thank you, Himani, and keep coming back. Final feedback from Ekta Bansal. Ekta, how was your experience?
Hello, hi, Toastmaster Anand. Hello, Toastmaster Rupina. Hello, everyone. I loved attending the Turning Point Toastmaster meeting once again. I was here a couple of months back as well, and I had an uh, order to actually see the live speech of Toastmaster Rupinder in Oration. And I was just curious. I saw this message floating about today's meeting, and I'm glad I could make it. I'm actually traveling today, and I don't know if there's too much background noise. That's why I was quiet the entire time. It was fun. It was very insightful. Everything I have kind of jotted down everything quickly, whatever I could. And thank you so much for organizing this panel discussion. And congratulations to Toastmaster Linda once again, and all the very best.
Thank you so much, Ekta, for attending the session even while traveling. That requires an applaud for your dedication to learning and keep experiencing some more flavors of Toastmasters meetings elsewhere. Great job. And I think it's a common wish that we have now that Rupinder clears the regional level, clears the semifinals, and we proudly tell the whole world that Rupinder is going to deliver among the top 8 on the international finals in the year 2026 and stands in the top 3. And if I'm not asking too much, wins the first position. If that happens, well, Rupinder, I will treat you with an ice cream. Sounds good?
I'll treat
Great.
him to Rajma Chawal.
I can't
Yeah,
have
that's
Rajma
even better.
Chawal. I'll have ice cream though. अरे
So
YouTube को
Rajma
Not
क्या
Chawal,
Rajma
ice
Chawal?
cream. What else do you guys have for Rupinder?
सर राजमा चावल मुझे खिला देना.
हाँ, इनको
ठीक.
खिला देना.
So
Okay, do you want to
Rupinder को
stop
पैसे तो
the
ना
do you
थे.
want to stop the YouTube recording, Anand?
yes, on that note, I will
Further.
stop the YouTube recording and live streaming, and we'll meet Thursday next week, same time, 7 p.m. onwards, with a scintillating experience for all of you. Till then, keep watching our other recordings, and I'm stopping the live stream.